Welcome to your mid-year life reset. We are taking a slow and gentle approach to making the second half of 2025 the best season yet.
You had me at hello, 'cause where you go is where I go. I don't need nobody.
The first thing that we are going to do is select one area of our house to deep clean. I know that you probably don't feel like deep cleaning your kitchen, and I fully understand, but we are going to do it together. I'm going to be your motivation, so grab yourself a cuppa, light a candle, pop me on in the background, and let's get into the cleaning.
And you got me too.
You can write all the blue. I wanna
Now, obviously you don't need to choose your kitchen as the area to deep clean. I chose this area primarily because it's a space that we use every day, but let's be honest, I mostly chose it because I made myself a deep cleaning rotation sort of set up at the start of the year where each month I would deep clean a different zone, and for July, it was the kitchen. So it wasn't necessarily because I have a hankering for deep cleaning my kitchen, it was just time to do so. So select an area either that is frequently used or a zone that maybe hasn't had a spruce up in some time. This is the first time watching one of my videos. Hello, my name is Carly. I am a wife, mother, and high school English teacher, and I create weekly videos over here on YouTube around all things cozy. You will find videos on all things slow and frugal living, intentional homemaking, book reviews, minimalism, and romanticizing everyday life. So if they are some things that inspire you, I would love to have you subscribe and stick around.
I'm staring into your blue eyes. We don't need nobody else. I got you, and you got me too. I've been saving you, and you save me too. Yeah, I need it. Don't you need me too? 'Cause I need you. Yeah, so call me anytime that you need a favor. Call me anytime.
For my kitchen deep clean, I am starting off with the large areas. I have removed everything from the countertops, filled the sink up with some hot water and some Zoflora, and I'm wiping down the tops of the benches, the fronts, and also the splashback. And then I'm going to go in and start from one end of the kitchen and move to the other and do all of the smaller zones and nooks and crannies. You are selecting your kitchen as the deep clean area. Also, you can just follow along with me if you want, or just play your own game. But if you have selected a different area, obviously you're going to need to adapt, and it may be necessary to get in and do some decluttering and organizing prior to the deep clean, depending on how messy or cluttered your space is. The next thing that I'm going to do is the microwave. I've started off by filling a bowl full of hot water and lemon juice, and I'm putting it in there to kind of get any grime off and just give it a nice fresh scent prior to wiping it out. And then I'm going to boil the jug, fill the sinks up with some bicarb soda, and then once the jug is boiled, I will tip that down the sinks to freshen up the drain, and then I'll move on to the oven. I thought that the oven was pretty clean since Dave gave it a great clean out not that long ago, so I just decided I was going to use these wipes to get in there rather than having to use my spray, but I needed to use a fair few wipes and they ended up being quite dirty. We do use our oven fairly regularly, so just keeping on top of it is one way to make sure that that grime doesn't build up. Okay, step number 2 on our slow and gentle mid-year reset is we are going to select one area of our house to declutter or organize. It may be the same area that you deep cleaned, or it may be a completely different area. For me, it is going to be a completely different area. In fact, I'm going to choose 3 small spaces. Step number 3 is we are going to reframe and revitalize the goals that we set for ourselves at the start of the year. If you didn't do that, now is the time to do so for the second half of the year. Obviously, things change as the year progresses. Maybe we've made some great headway in some of our goals. Maybe some of them are just no longer relevant and they need to be wiped from the list. But we are going to check back in with our goals, check back in with our vision board, and do a whole heap of sprucing to just get us excited about the life we want to create for the end of 2025. At the start of the year, I made a full goals list, a physical vision board collaged from images I had collected from Pinterest, and also journaled about the type of life and person that I wanted to have / be at the end of the year. And I feel like those things were really good in giving me clarity and direction as I had gone about the start of 2025. If you haven't already done those things, now is probably a good time to do so. Today, I started off by refreshing my goals in my journal, and then I went online and used a digital assistant to help me come up with a full checklist for each goal and different steps that I can take to help me achieve each of them by the end of the year. I think breaking down your goals into smaller chunks is really important, and then intentionally scheduling in your diary, whether that's digital or a physical copy, when you are specifically going to work on achieving each of those chunks. Step number 4 is we are going to budget. If you've been following along with my channel, I have been doing a low buy year, and there will be a mid-year low buy check-in coming your way very soon. I have been tracking my spending each month. I've also been writing down everything that I've purchased that is outside of regular weekly shopping, and I found those two things to be incredibly effective. So maybe that is something that you want to do along with me in the second half of the year. I also want to sit down and start looking at some of the bills that I've got coming up for the second half of the year, because it is actually a bill heavy second half of the year, at least for myself. And I want to make sure that each fortnight when we get paid, that we are setting aside money to make sure that as soon as those bills come in, we have the finances there to cover them, and to also think of some of the things that I'd like to save up for in the second half of the year. I'm sure that there is a whole heap more things that we could add to this list to reset for the end of 2025, but we are trying to keep it slow and gentle and not putting that much pressure on ourselves, while creating a cozy atmosphere and romanticizing life, because that is what we do around here. Obviously, adjust this as you see fit, add in additional steps if there are specific areas of your life that you want to prioritize or work towards, and let me know what they are in the comments down below, because maybe there's some things I need to focus on myself. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe down below. I upload new ones every single week. With that being said, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week, an amazing start to the second half of 2025, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye guys.